Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
You know that thing that you love? You'll find others geeking out about it on Facebook. Whether you're looking for community or inspiration, Facebook helps turn passion into action. Obsessed with running a marathon? Discover a neighborhood run club group. Start training and meet your new neighbor. Thinking about cooking more at home? Connect with meal prep groups to discover recipes in a new community. And as you're scrolling the feed, you may even find reels showing you top running shoes or the best tools for your culinary journey. This summer, find more on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to a new Geektown Talks To. I'm Dave Elliott, and this week I'm chatting with Graham Yost, showrunner of Apple TV's brilliant sci-fi drama Silo. With season 3 approaching the finale, the show is beginning to pull back the curtain on some of those mysteries we've been obsessing over since the beginning. So I caught up with Graham to talk about adapting Hugh Howey's novels, some of the choices they've made this season, and what lies ahead as Silo moves towards its 4th and final season. Before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping for those of you hearing this through the Geektown radio feed. Yes, Geektown Radio has been suspiciously quiet since episode 500 back in June. I had planned on bringing it back a little sooner, but after 500 episodes, I decided I'd quite like a bit of a break from hearing my own voice for a while. The good news is Geektown Radio returns on the 15th of September, revived, refreshed, and with an alarming amount of television to catch up on. Until then, you can find all the latest TV, film, and gaming news over on geektown.co.uk, along with plenty more interviews and podcasts. And of course, our Geek Storians podcast, which has just completed season 3, and season 4 is currently in development and coming soon. But for now, here's my chat with Silo showrunner Graham Yost. Hi, Graham. How are you?
I'm pretty good, David. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Thank you for spending a bit of time to talk about the show. I'm a huge fan. For nearly 3 seasons, one of the biggest questions hanging over Silo has been why the people are there in the first place. Now that you're actually giving us some answers, does the storytelling become harder because you've got to make the answers as interesting as the mystery was in the first place?
You know, that is such a good question because I read a fair number of mysteries. And there's this great Canadian writer, Louise Penny, who writes these great mysteries, the Gamache series. And one of the things I love about her is the answers are as good as the mysteries, and they feel believable and grounded and human. It's not too much of a surprise. There are other mysteries I read that kind of work, but it's more the vibe that I'm into. And this, I felt when I read the books, I went, okay, I love the mystery. It's a big mystery story. But I like Hugh's answers. I felt that the way Hugh answered everything it felt real. It felt settled and it felt satisfying. And it also felt relatively unpredictable. And so that got me. So hopefully people will feel the same when they get to the end of season 4. There's stuff you find out in the final episode that you don't know now. And throughout season 4, there's even in the first episode of season 4, there is a huge reveal. But, we keep doing that. But the basic building blocks are all there now at the end of season 3.
Yeah. You mentioned Hugh there as well. And it's interesting with the novel because the second novel moves quite a lot away from Juliette for a considerable amount of time.
The whole book. She appears in the last page.
I was trying
to give Hugh grief about that all the time. It's like, you know why we did season 3 the way we did season 3? Because Juliette, we've got Rebecca Ferguson on the poster. And he's basically, dude, this is fun for me. It's fun for him to see a different version because he's always got the books. People can read the book. This is like, he created this incredible sandbox. We get to play in it and you get to see people build other things. He's so supportive. He's been a blast. But so it was like, what are we going to do with Juliette? And when we really landed on the control of memory, and a lot of it had to do with Daniel in the book's Donald waking up, and he's told, and he answers to Troy, and it's like, okay, well, that's interesting, because then we're seeing an absolute personification of memory erasure and reprogramming. You forget who you are, and you're told to do this, and it's like, wow, okay, well, we know that in Silo 18, 140 years ago, that there was a big memory eraser. Okay, if that's a big part of the story, then let's go with that. And so that became our primary thing. Story, but for it to be Juliette, that's the only way they could control her. She knows too much. She can't come back into the silo and say, I know all of this stuff, or they'd be killed. And so we knew that. And then we also played it out with Charlotte, that she doesn't know what happened on her mission. And, on we go. So we knew that memory would be a key part of it. And then ending up with Daniel becoming Troy and forgetting. And yet there was something persistence in memory of Helen. Even though he couldn't remember her name, he remembered her face. That old Maya Angelou line, you might not remember what someone says, but you'll remember how they made you feel. And he knows that he has a feeling for that person. And that became central to us.
You've got this thing with season 3 as well, which, as you touched on there, you've got the sort of before time stuff and the silo. When you were breaking the season, did you work out exactly where those jumps were going to be for the two stories or how did you work out how that was going to work without it feeling like one interrupting the other randomly?
It was a lot of people paying attention to it. So it was all the writers weighing in. Where do we jump? What are the rules? Are there rules? You'll notice that we will often make a jump after the main title, so that if we were in one story before the main title, when the main title appears and that wraps up, we can go to the other one. Because you get 2 fresh starts any episode, the opening and then after main titles. And then we felt that everything after that is just sort of a rhythm and also thematic. So how, if memory is an issue in the first episode, how does one reflect the other? And that continues in the second and on down the line. So it was really just looking for those moments. There are a couple back and forths that aren't perfect, but some of that was, okay, I pushed a script to be written in a certain way and then saw it in the cut and was like, yeah, we need to divide that into 2 scenes. So it doesn't, it might not be perfect, but it still works. It doesn't, by that point, it's later in the season and we're into the rhythm of it anyway.
And just finally, you obviously know that you're now doing 4 seasons. Season 4 will be the last one. Knowing that beforehand and knowing that you've got that season coming, has that changed anything for you in terms of the writing, knowing that you can put stuff in now that can absolutely pay off next season and you're bringing it to a close?
I will be now honest, which is that we knew after season 1 that we were going to do all 4 seasons. That we knew that the show was successful enough and Jamie Ehrlich at Apple was a big booster of the show. He was the one who said, let's get Rebecca Ferguson, and so it was one of the greatest decisions. He also said, let's get Gary Oldman for Slow Horses too. So that wasn't bad. So that's an incredible support. And so we knew, so we could plan out when we were writing season 2, we knew where we wanted that to end, where season 3 would end and how we would get, what our goals were for 4. And that helped a lot because it's like, oh, we're writing season 4 while we're filming season 2, I think. It's all a blur now. But there were things where like, oh, we've got to set that up in season 3. We've got to adjust that script now, even though we're like going to start filming in a week. We have to make some changes so that we were set up for season 4.
Brilliant. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love the show. Can't wait to see how you end it.
A year from now, you'll see. We're all done. We're just getting all the visual effects done.
Awesome. Yeah. I look forward to it. All right. Thank you for spending the time. Cheers.
For a small business owner, every day is full of surprises. Some great, some not so great. Like when a client cancels their order at the last minute. But here's a surprise you will like. Progressive provides small business owners with 30 customizable coverage options to help keep their business going strong. So go ahead, surprise yourself. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and third-party insurers. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.